Lesson 131, the dative of possession, this time in Latin.
All right, so in the last lesson, we previewed in English a new way of covering and using possession in Latin that we're calling the dative of possession.
And the wording that we talked about was starting out a sentence with there is,
and following it up with, to me, whatever it is that you have. So, for example, there is, to me, a horse, as a way of saying, I have a horse.
And so now let's put the sentence together in Latin. We already know that when we use the word est at the beginning of a sentence as the first word, it can carry with it the meaning of there is.
Right, so we'll start with est, and then we'll add mihi.
So est mihi says there is to me. And then finally, and this is a very important point, the thing that you're possessing will be in the nominative case, because in this kind of sentence construction, the thing that you're possessing is not a direct object of anything. It's technically the subject of the sentence from a grammatical standpoint.
Right, sometimes we call this a subject complement.
So we have the word est, which means there is. We have mihi, which means to me. And then we have equus, which means horse, and it's in the nominative case.
Right, est mihi equus.
And so what that says, literally in a word-for-word kind of way, is there is to me a horse. And so this is what we call the dative of possession. It's when you use the dative case to say that something is to you, or in the sense of you have it or own it or possess it.
Right, and in fact, this is very, very common in Latin. So you should get used to using it whenever you can.
And as you can see here at the bottom of the lesson, you have two ways to say that you have a horse. You can say, est mihi equus, there is to me a horse, or you can say, equum habeo, I have a horse. And once again, let's notice that when you use the dative of possession, the thing that you are possessing is in the nominative case, but if you use habeo, then the thing you're possessing is a direct object and is therefore in the accusative case. So please make note of that.
Exactly so.